Ollie was having the best time of his life when he was snapping all these pictures. The story appeared on BBC June last year, June 10. Ollie's story. You can go and check it out. Let me read what happened to Ollie to us. According to a journalist by name Mariana Spring, it was only after Ollie Stevens was murdered in a field outside his home in Reading that his mom and dad realized the violent and disturbing world their son had been exposed to through his phone. For BBC Panorama, reporter Mariana Spring investigates the role social media played in his death and exposes how a 13-year-old social media account can be recommended violent videos and knives for sale. Let me read the story. Last January, that's 2022, Amanda and Stuart Stevens watched their son from separate windows as he left home, not realizing it would be the last time. Ollie wandered over to a field, they call the field Box Bottom, opposite their house, with sliders on his feet, his phone in his hand. 15 minutes later, he had been murdered. That phone he was holding will provide the answer to what had happened. Ollie was stabbed to death by 2 teenage boys in a field behind his house after they recruited a girl online to lure him there. The entire attack had been planned on social media and triggered by a dispute in a social media chat. His parents were shocked to discover the murky world of violence and hate that their son and his friends had inhabited through their phones. I decided to investigate the role, that's the lady speaking, social media played in what happened to Ollie and what 13-year-olds like Ollie are exposed to. They hunted him, that's the quotation there, tracked him and executed him through social media. Stuart tells me as we sit, that is the father of the boy, together on their sofa in their home in Reading, social media is not guilty of the murder, but it did nothing to protect him. And without it, he will still be here. It was a video posted on Snapchat showing an attack called patterning. You know how little children, they will be beating somebody up and they will be videoing it. That's what they call patterning. And they'll be sharing it that, look, we have embarrassed this person, we have beat them up and all that. So it was a snapshot showing an attack called patterning that was the catalyst in a chain of events that led to Ollie's losing his life. Thames Valley police explained that patterning is the humiliation of a young person, which is filmed and or photographed and shared on social media. It's forwarded on and on, shared across different social platforms. Now, let me go straight to what happened to Ollie. Ollie's problem was that he shared a particular patterning video with the senior brother of the person that was patterned. So his friends felt that, those people on the website felt that he snitched on them because they know something is coming for them. So that is why they arranged for him to be killed. And they posted it on social media how they're going to do it. They're going to hit him, they're going to beat him up, and somebody is going to stab him. And exactly that is how they kill Ollie. We're saying, I love that. But the question is, do you know what your children are doing on social media? Do you supervise their activities? I have been to several homes of members of this church that we use our mobile phones as pacifiers for our little children. Yes, it will start with YouTube cartoons. But YouTube has a way of feeding itself when the cartoon is done. What are the children being exposed to? Yes, you may caution them when you eventually catch them with on what they're watching, but when you are not there, what are they really watching? So I'm going to be quick to share with us, how do I control my child's social media? How? We know that we need to control it. There's nothing we can do about it. Unfortunately, some of us, when we were growing up, thank God we didn't have this kind of problem. It's now a problem, and it's endemic. Like I said, almost everywhere I go, is either the children are watching TV, or they're on their iPad, or their phones. Rarely will you see children reading books anymore. Rarely. We went to a school and we were asking the teachers, so what books do we buy? They said, you don't study when you're home. So you don't need to buy books. Government have provided everything. You just need to go to your teams. And that is so dangerous. So how do I control my child's social media? Number one, start with yourself. You are telling your children to go and start reading, but you are watching African Magic, and they notice that you spend hours on it. From Orogun Adeleke to Ajeni Yami, from Ajeni Yami to Ineka, the witch, you are just binging on all those movies. Is that ringing home? Is that not what we do? We call ourselves, ladies know how to do that. They have released another part. So the one we watched last week was part 1. Then you start watching, and the children are watching. You are asking them to go and read, but you don't read. What children see becomes what they want to become. How distracted are you as a parent by social media or your device? How much screen time do you as a parent consume daily? Because children will mirror their parents. Some parents, their children know you can play with them with every other thing, but not phones. And they notice that you flip every minute. While you are cooking, you are flipping. While you are doing this. So they know. So they believe that is the way to go. We can say all sorts of things about our children. Excuse me, your failure is what you are saying. When was the last time you read a book? Inspirational book or a Christian book, and you now tell your child, I need you to read this when I'm done. Why? Because it has blessed me. But children will normally come around you when you're watching movies. That's a culture. You are building a culture in your home. Hallelujah. Genesis 18:17-19 says, I'm not going to take our time, but I just need to build on what has been said. Because we may be thinking, because at some point, even the preacher of today was looking at me and said, that, did you hear? You need to regulate, don't take it away. Hallelujah. Genesis 18:17-19 says, and the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and a mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed by him. Verse 19, for I know him that he will command his children. Command. He will command. That means it's not an upsetting parent. He will command them. Some of us claim we came here because of the children, and they really will see you. You came here because of children and you're taking three shifts. By the time you leave the house, they are sleeping. When you return, they are already gone to bed. And how do you command them? But God said he's proud of this man. Why? He will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment. What is making immigrants to be great in the nations is because they have a culture of serving the God of their fathers. Check it out. It's like a wind everywhere you go now. Because, they have made Africa inhabitable for people. But look at the nations. Africans are just making headways everywhere. It's not only because they know how to study, because we have a culture of reading books and studying. But apart from that, God is behind us. Hallelujah. The other day I was chastising the children that, don't play games too much. They said, Daddy, you are not current. They are gamers now that they pay them. Even gamers. I said, wow, that's a good one. Who is going to pay a gamer where he came from? Gamer. Number 2, Apart from start with yourself, set predictable and enforceable ground rules for social media. No child that is less than 13, that is even what Facebook required, should be on Facebook. Even Facebook know that what's the right word now? Yes. So it's addictive. Then you parent will be the one to set your child up on Facebook. You set them up on all sorts of social media platforms, and you are not expecting them to use it. They will use it. So set predictable and enforceable ground rules. Make sure that when the children want to use social media, they use it on a common place in the house where everybody can see what they are doing. Not that they will be hiding iPad in their room and they say, leave them, they are just children. They will grow over it. Grow over what? Can you see a snake under your child's bed and you say, no, don't worry, they will get used to it. And that is what that thing is. It's a snake. A terrible one. Number 3, try to know more about social media than your children. I have seen some parents here, when you go to their house, they'll be calling, Debbie, come and change the channel. You see, I don't know how this thing functions. They will be calling the children. That's telling them that they have the power over you. You don't know nothing about what they are doing. Then how do you set parental control if you don't know it? Are you going to tell them to set it and they will know how to, You need to up your game. No more than the children. See, when you come to our house, we have so many apps. There's a one they call back. Anytime they are going on anything, they will back. And immediately there will be an email for me. Look at what your son is watching. Not that I don't trust my wife. There's an app that shows me where she is. I want to know where my children are. When we were growing up, there was a newscaster. 9 p.m. His name was Franco Lise. The moment he comes on, he will say, parent, do you know where your children are? 9 p.m. I want to know where my own children are. The moment you get a phone in my house, I will put the app there. And I will be telling you, so you are in Kildona place. What did you go there to do? Oh, Dad. And they know. They will want to corrupt it, but I always have an advantage over them. I wasn't born yesterday. Hallelujah. So try to know more about social media. Know how to set and control parental controls on devices. Number 4, set clear rules about internet safety. For example, instruct your children not to reveal their names, their full names. Instruct them not to give their real age out because there are predators out there. People that, when I was little, I didn't know what pedophile was. And they existed where we came from, because there's no record of it. They existed. How do I know? There was a day I was working with one young lady in our community. I just graduated from university. And immediately saw my friend's father. She hissed. I said, that was rude. She said, no, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. You didn't greet the man. He said, I won't greet him. Apparently, my friend's dad was employed to be a private teacher for this young girl. So all this, come and sit on my lap, has damaged the girl in a way. But Africa, who is going to recall that? Even if your mom heard about it, will say, shut up. Nothing like that happened. Hallelujah. Set clear rules for them. Don't give out your school, the school you are attending, so that nobody will come from another school to come and kill you there. You don't need to tell them your home address. Social media, nobody ought to know that. You don't know who is watching you. Number 5, delay social media access for preteens. Like I said, if somebody is not up to a particular age, why do you want to give them an idol from childhood? There are some children that they will never be quiet until they get that idol. It's an idol in their life. And you continue to pacify them with that, thinking that you are doing them favors. You are not doing them any favors. So I see a man, he say, oh, Nick, can you hear that? Number 6, monitor your children's amount on screen time. We have heard it. They have said it across the board. They know that it's dangerous. Most of our children now, they are wearing glasses. It could be because of how much exposure they have. That thing radiates. Some have good sharp eyes before, but now you can see what is happening to them. From television to iPad, from iPad to iPhones. And you're expecting something not to happen to their eyes. Number 7, if your child has a social media account, make sure you are friends with or you follow them. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do it. Like I said, there are some apps. The moment they want to go to the moment they are downloading something in their phone, it will alert me that no, this person is downloading this. Is it with your permission? So that they will not be lying to you that I'm not on Snapchat because they don't want you to be their friends. But you would have discovered it yourself. Excuse me, as long as they are under your roof, you are the one that bought that phone. They don't need to tell you the rules around the phone. You bought the iPad for them. Wait until they are 18, they can do all sorts. But when they are under your roof, God forbid that certain things will be happening and you are not aware. God will ask you questions. Can you buy them a car and give them the key to go and drive it? If you cannot trust a child that is not around 13 with a car, then how can you trust them with an iPad? You know as a parent what you see sometime when you are going through Facebook on those video area. You know what you're seeing there. You know what you see when you're watching YouTube, and you now trust a child with such equipment. Number 8, and that's the last one. Have a shared computer in a public space in your home and allow your child age-appropriate privacy. Excuse me, don't give them iPad before a particular age. Make sure everybody use a communal computer. And from time to time, just pass the area. Let them see that I'm seeing what you are doing. No? This is my house. There are certain rules that we must make sure that we enforce. Now, in conclusion, Proverbs 1:8-9 says, Amplified. Proverbs 1:8-9 says, my son. That is a message to all the children. My daughter, hear the instruction of your father. No matter how you think we are not cool, we know better than you. We have been around longer than you are. Yes, we may not be cool for you now, but later years you're going to celebrate us. That thank God for you, mommy. What you think that your mates are enjoying that we are denying you of, excuse me, is because we know better. And parents, there are times that we do something, we sexualize our girl child. We do all sorts of things. Girl children have been, from census, they realize that they spend more time on social media than boys. But what boys do is gaming. And that is more destructive. There was a wedding we went for in Barbados just a few days ago. There was a girl sitting in front of us. I'm very sure she should not be more than 15 or 16. Everything that was going on there was not a problem. She was not snapping herself from different angles. And immediately, my wife noticed that immediately it was on Instagram. It was on this. Some people were even calling live. And all she had on was just spaghetti kind of clothes. My son, my daughter, hear the instruction of your father and do not reject the teaching of your mother. What does that mean? 2 voices must be in the life of a child. Don't ever leave your children with just their mom. Fathers, you are to instruct. Mothers are to teach. If there's a teaching without an instruction, it's an aberration. God intentionally put 2 people together, not Jack and Jill, but Eve and Adam. So that as the father instructs that this is what I want in my house, mommy is teaching us on why we need to adhere to what daddy says. For the Amplified says, for when you do that, there are garlands of grace on your head, verse 9, and chains and ornaments of gold around your neck. Let me read Message for us. Message says, pay close attention, friend, to what your father tells you. Pay close attention. Never forget what you learn at your mother's knees. Never forget. There was a time I shared it with the men or with the women, that how come when we were growing up, we always say, nobody can cook beans like my mom. Why? We know that she cooks so well. But now, we don't really know what to ascribe to our mom because all what we eat is from freezer to the microwave or to the oven. But mind you, when we were growing up, you know how to peel melon. You know how to, remove corn from the curbs. You know how to do that. And that is our parents using that opportunity to engage with us in discussion. Do you still spend time with your children? Or you leave them for social media? How we are breeding demons. It's just a matter of time. Hallelujah. God will help us. Once again, let's celebrate the children. Let's celebrate them. Hallelujah.